A younger mountain was being crushed out of existence under the sheer colossal weight of the elder peak. So how did it survive being completely wiped off the map? Instead of crumbling, it decided to weaponize the pressure. Look inside its cross-section. When the elder peak pushes horizontally, the younger mountain captures that incoming external force and redirects it straight down. This downward flow carves deep structural ravines into the earth. Then, it takes the remaining crushing force and channels it outward. This action dramatically thickens and widens the mountain's base. This creates a brilliant mechanism. The harder the old mountain presses, the more solid and immovable the younger mountain's foundation becomes. With a massive base secured, it channels all that stored energy into a sudden vertical surge upward. The younger mountain didn't just survive the attempt to destroy it. It used that exact same pressure to build the ultimate foundation and challenge its rival for the sky.
So today we go just take a look on Masicka's latest release, Forever Rain. The last dancehall album that made me feel the way I had to say probably was The Symphony of David Brooks by Movado. And listen, I don't know bias point, but to all the storyline in the album, the progress, to the production of the album, to the raw intensity of David Brooks's vocals, it was almost cinematic. You could have pretty much see the entire picture of the album in front of you. I'm gonna tell you something, Bridget. Dancehall has seen nothing like Forever Rain. And Masicka, I'm gonna tell you, Bridget, like the metaphor that we use in the introduction at this review. Sometimes in the older mountain, push down at the smaller mountain, it pushes its roots further into the ground and to the point where it has no more to go, but it has locked firmly enough in the foundation where it can only go wide and high. And it looked like, Virgin, this is the momentum of Masicka depend now because of the pushback where Gaza fans have given him. So, Uno effectively create a freaking monster. You know the great Sun Tzu, The Art of War. There's a line in The Art of War, the book, and I should read it sometime. It says, always allow room for your enemy survive. Because the last thing you want to do is not give someone hope when they're back against the wall. Because that is when they are going to fight the fiercest. And you will never see a fiercer fight than someone whose back is against the wall. You always allow him an escape route. You always give him an olive branch. But one wouldn't overstand that, don't it? We could jump right into the album review. This third studio album from Masicka is an impeccable work of art. And where Generation of Kings was about claiming that throne, this project deals with the weight and the paranoia and the legacy of defending that throne. Sonically, me no hear nothing like Forever Rain. And this is not even arguable, this is his most cinematic and technically sophisticated release. And one of the great advantages that Masicka have on this album is his trusted producer and co-creator, Dunwell. And on this album, Dunwell touched about 60% of the project, from production to mixing. And him is also joined by other heavy-hitting producers such as Dre Skull, The Genius, and Dreddy. I want to start with the production because I see a lot of reviews out there where they skip over the production. They might talk about Masicka and they talk about the hype of Masicka and the lyricism of Masicka. I think the production outdid Masicka on this album, strangely enough. When we reviewed God on Time, Vybz Kartel, I was super impressed by the production and I spoke about it at length in my review video. But this album, my youth, is production-wise, I tell you, Virgin, wicked and terrible. Seeing like roots go on there to trap dancehall grit. Make you start with one Psalms. I think this is a Dunwell track. Me never hear Dunwell like this before, me not lie. Me never hear them a kind of production that come out of the house of Dunwell before. Live bass guitar, brass swells, dynamic and warm, low ends, and then the mix was so much that they no compress the life out of the drums. Them lift the drums, but still able to get gang vocals like so impressive, my youth. And we couldn't ask you a better complimenter. Just the low mids from Gang and the rapid fire DJing from Masicka. And Gang, in my opinion, outdid Masicka on this track. Same thing with Parables and Mirrors, or a melancholic dub infused, a spacious acoustic with piano chords that just allow Lila Ike to just flow with our soulful harmonies. And from them two similar, the extreme then got to the hardcore kinetic music, with them pivot into street anthems like AK Fire, Wicked Spell, sharp metallic percussions, 808s, sub-heavy kick with a sound system, authoritative sound, brethren. And it's like the man them grab up one Psalms and Parables with that melodic, chanting, thoughtful music where touch your soul, and then just expand out the blood cleat sound into rapid burst gunshot. It's like a summer feel, or the man them, the highs and the lows of the album, and the mid-range feel in the attitude of the album, brethren. So when them started with that thoughtful, and end with that, reflective, and then kick you with some gunfire, them also calm it down with global fusion, and up the sound engineering, yeah, so. And I like how the artists keep him featureless tight. Don't know what he pass my day over the 17 tracks. And him make sure so the focus stay firmly upon him vocals and the composition, the instrumentation. Now, two of the songs where stand out to me in terms of reflection is Pointless and Breaking Chains. Ironically, Dre Skull and Dunwell. And you can immediately tell Dre Skull touch with the track arrangement, digital hi-hats, synth pads, and the filtered vocal chops and the bass line, them round and warm. They just give the tracks that warm, international polish feel without sacrificing none of the dancehall bones, And may I tell you, Bridget, I listened to this album about 6 times since it released, like full length, and listen the different tracks them separately. Now, I want to tell you something. One of the most slept on tracks on this album is G-Wagon with Black Bones. Never hear about this man from a band, but I'm going to check him out some more. The song of them bridge the dancehall with contemporary West African rhythms. And it's just have this rolling Afrobeat, rhythmic feel to it. And I think Tells and the same Black Bones produce it. And mixed by Dunwell. It's like when you find that producer who can really expand your sound and keep, exactly what him want from your sound, and you know exactly what you go get from the mix. You just don't go away from that, Bridget, man. Tell us that this is a lesson for all artists. Find that person who can manipulate and synchronize and curate your sound. That means that every single time you fall back to him, you know exactly what you go get. But me I gush about the album. Beautiful song. And the song I go predict have international crossover flavor to it. Now, with that being said, hear the song of the album. I finally settle upon the song on a roll, featuring Craft. I used to see all the song bad. I'll tell you something, if Masicka when put any other artist on the song, it no work. I swear to you, it no work, brethren. Craft vocals make for this freaking instrumental, my lord. Seeing a minor key trap dancehall bass, and the track utilize like a big rolling hi-hat where just capture the raw competitive hunger at two lyricists, my youth. Me didn't even know how craft pierce on to the blood clot instrumental sub-region. Me no know it argues well for the production team because somebody hear the track, it record, and somebody in the blood clot studio say, you know, would that sound good on this craft card. Me that love to know who saw what the vision for the craft on the song, because that man deserve a backline again. Beautiful blood clot music, my youth. Gritty, hardcore. And me can say Masicka with about 4 or 5 dancehall hits, plus about 3 international hits off of the album. And if you have 8 hits off of one album, half of the album, you're in a different category, brethren. Different category. Somehow Kraft managed to get himself on a Grammy Award winning Blood Clot album. Of course, slip and slide. We already know the master class and the commercial bunks where Stephen McGregor drop it, this a monster hit. Yeah. We already run out most of the first part of the year with the song. But again, like I said, I want to spend a lot of time on the mixing, mastering, and the structural critique. Like I say, done well with Dave Coach, Dre Day, are them responsible for the engineering across the album. Remarkably cohesive mix. And unlike many of the modern dancehall records that suffer from this erratic vocal tracking, the LP maintain just a unified profile and pristine vocal presence throughout it. Very well mixed and mastered. The album is a non-skip album, 17 track, 48 minutes. And you know, the standard, the bravado badman tracks, the girl them track, the feel good track, the motivational track, lyrical depth, sonic arrangement, a wide variety. Right across the board, brethren, we hit about 4 or 5 themes out of the 17 tracks. Now, like I say, if there was one criticism I have, me never like an album I go over 12 tracks yet still. But not lie. But me understand saying at them at time, a few years ago, you know, when the man drop EP, you know, remember one time the man drop 4-song EP, you know, kind of stomp in your gut, take out the year out of here and gone. But you know, I guess we go back to this long, expansive album length, you know what I mean? Me's not really a fan of it, but with this one, I can tell you, sir, me no skip none of the song, my lord. This is how great the album. I can tell when the last time I listen an album, much less a dancehall album, when me no skip none. Even the great Vybz Kartel, God and Time, there's 1 or 2 songs that was a little bit off for me, and me mentioned them in my Vybz Kartel God and Time review. But this album, me no skip none. Believe. So, most of the brethren, this are one of the best bodies of work dancehall ever see. And instead of create vibes, my youth, and division, we should be celebrating the man them thing, brethren. My final verdict on this album is this album solidify Masicka status as one of modern dancehall's greatest album maker, hit maker, cinematic arrangement, razor sharp mixing. The project not only entertained me, it asserted authority and longevity at the Jana's highest level. It asserts Masicka's spot at the top of the mountain. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Forever reign.
This is it TV. Icon Talk. Where the icons talk.